Hi Aquarius, welcome. So Aquarius, this is going to be your reading. I'm going to start with the spiritual messages and then I'm going to get into the love you versus them reading. I'm time stamping this May because that's when I'm recording it, but my readings are timeless, so I just trust that whenever you find this, that's when it's for you. So let's get into it, Aquarius. The first card out was the card of Cancer. Some of you could be connecting with the zodiac sign Cancer, or have that in your chart, or have a lot of fourth house placements, and or it's just the influencing vibe. So it's a very feeling oriented, emotional, kind of sappy energy. It talks about comfort and nostalgia, a very caring and protective energy. But on the flip side of that can be moody, you know, a little too sentimental. So, and I can attest to this as an Aquarius sun myself. Like, I have felt very sensitive lately. So, you might be feeling that as well. But overall, I love the fourth house energy. To me, it is a very like calming, soothing vibe. So I'm happy to see that because Pluto, as you guys know, is retrograde in Aquarius. And it's a long-standing retrograde. So it may feel a little bit uncomfortable for you, Aquarius, but really what it's magnifying is your self-identity, how you identify yourself. Some of you could be going through like major drastic changes over the next 10 to 20 years as it pertains to self-identity, your habits, what makes you you. Some of you could be completely transforming your image, your lifestyle, what you do for a living. So I know this reading is for, you know, right now, this time frame, May or whatever, but this is kind of a long range type of deal, Aquarius, where you can expect those changes to begin now through really the next 2 decades. So it should be interesting for all of us, shouldn't it? Okay, so you have the third house of isolation. Second house, no. Card number 2 of possibilities. And I feel like that was a misfire, but keep it, leave it, I'm not sure. Sorrow in the reverse, experiencing flowering and the creator. So there might be some things in your past that you're needing to let go of, Aquarius, that maybe you've spent a lot of time dwelling on or mourning over. Because change isn't always easy for us fixed signs. Even though, Aquarius, you're an air element, you are fixed in nature as you're one of the fixed signs. So it's like weird because you thrive on new and the future and change, but at the same time, you're somewhat resistant to it. You cling to things that you're familiar with, and it's not always, fixed signs are not always the most adaptable when it comes to big life changes. And I feel big life changes are coming through for you. So it's a little bit about like letting go of what you used to identify with, what you used to know, or maybe what you used to be comfortable with, and going into that new phase of newness, which actually there's a big part of you, Aquarius, that kind of loves that idea of something new around the corner. You're a very future oriented sign. So, and you also tend to be ahead of the curve when it comes to the other zodiac signs, meaning like you tend to experience things first before the rest of the collective, or you tend to be like the trendsetter or the person who is willing to take that chance first, to carve out a pathway for those who may want to follow you. So in a way, it's like a little bit of hesitancy, but it's also very exciting because there's fresh perspectives coming in and a chance for you to really, I guess, grow and develop yourself in a way that maybe you weren't even knowing that you wanted or familiar with. So there is a little bit of this like needing to let go of the past or sorrow, past regrets. Some of you may at times feel like isolating yourself if it gets to be too much, which is a very Aquarian thing to do. But really what you're being encouraged to do right now is to allow yourself to go through this new experience. Allow this growth to come in for you. You are the creator of your own experience, by the way. So the world is not dishing out things that you are not ready or prepared for, because it is responding to the things you've asked for, and now you're getting ready to experience the manifestation of them, as you have the card of new possibilities. So this is exciting. Let's see what else we have coming through for you, for my Aquarius. I'm actually going to use these cards. We're going to look at what else does Aquarius need to know during this time frame. What else does Aquarius need to know? Oop, that was the Ace of Pentacles, but it went back in the deck. Let's see. Oh my goodness, why do the cards keep going back in there? I'm like real particular about that. Every card reader does it a little bit different. I like for my cards to like come out of the deck on their own. You don't have to read cards that way. That's just the way I've always done it, and so I'm picky. All right, Four of Pentacles, King of Cups, Two of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. Yeah, it's like, where are you holding yourself back at? Why are you holding yourself back? Why this closed off energy, Aquarius? They want you to be open. They want you to be open to the new possibilities. And yet, like, there's this back and forth. There's a little bit of anxiety here. It's kind of like clinging to what you know works is no longer working for you. Let me say that again. Clinging to what you know works is no longer working for you. There's an adaptability needed here. So it's like a little bit frightening, you know, but at the same time, like, don't let this stress you out, because you have guidance here, and you have resources, and you have choices as well. You're not, it's not like the universe is saying like, you must choose and you must choose this pathway. No, like, you get to decide in all of this, Aquarius. You get to feel your way through this process, and it's not going to happen overnight. Like I said, this is like a 10 to 20 year cycle. So you've got plenty of time, right, to figure it out. So let's see what else we have coming through. What else do we have coming through? Five of Swords. Yeah, so where are you getting in your own way here, Aquarius? There is some level of doubt, some level of stress, and insecurity that's popping up right now. The energy's been super tense ever since the, what are those solar flares that we had like a week or two ago. We just had so much astrological activity. I don't know how you couldn't feel it. So some of you may have also felt that tension, felt that stress, or had some stressful events occur. So Eight of Pentacles, what else? The Chariot. So there is movement forward here for you though, Aquarius, when you stop getting in your own way. And how are you getting in your own way? With your own stressful thoughts, you know, overthinking things, overstressing things. Also, some of you holding your feelings in, which, you know, I think is easy for an Aquarius to do, because Aquarians are known for their detached style. But really what it is it's called compartmentalizing. Am I saying that right? Compartmentalizing. Why does that sound not right? You guys know what I'm saying, right? When you compartmentalize your feelings, you know, or you just kind of like throw it to the corner and don't really address it, Aquarius. There's a little bit of that going on, which is fine in a way, because it allows you to, like, detachment allows us Aquarians to keep our sanity, our peace of mind, because I think the biggest misconception is that we don't have deep feelings, or we're not a deep feeling sign, and that, I'm here to tell you, is 100% not the truth. But we may not express it the same way that another zodiac sign would. And sometimes we're not comfortable expressing it. Sometimes we prefer to keep it to ourselves. So we instead detach so that the emotion does not overwhelm us. And so I feel a little bit of that coming through as well. and that's fine if it serves you. But at the same time, ask yourself, does this really serve me? Because sometimes it's in an unhealthy way where you're actually like pushing your emotions down and not expressing yourself, which if you have emotions that are very heavy or intense that are suppressed, it actually causes a deterioration in your energy. It actually causes like this very uncomfortable sensation in your energetic body, because we are meant to express ourselves, right? It doesn't have to be in like a crazy or angry way, but it could be in many ways, through music, through art, through conversation, yes. But like, however you need to get this out, I feel you need an expressive outlet, like a way that you can express some of these emotions that for whatever reason you are casting to the side or suppressing, because I feel that there is building up. And you know what that ends up building up over time if you don't release it? Resentment, right? And that's really an icky emotion to live in. So anyways, there is an opportunity here though for some sort of new experience, as I said before, and you get to choose, right? Like you get to choose which direction this is going to go for you, which I think is really exciting. Some of you have been working on yourself. Some of you may benefit from working on your daily habits and your daily routines. And there also might be travel possibilities coming up. So let's see what else. Or a possible move for some of you. 4 of Cups. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Here I'm talking about like detachment, the old Aquarian detachment. And you get the 4 of Cups, which is somebody who is detaching. That's you, Aquarius. You know, like I feel like if you have a lot of stressors going on and it's like, oh, I just don't want to think about that right now, I actually feel like that's kind of healthy, right? It is healthy, because you shouldn't focus on things that you have no ability to change or control in this moment, right? At the same time, don't completely ignore your emotions and push things down either. So there's balance needed, right? The Moon, the Wheel. See, because this person's trying to ignore their emotions. You see how the Moon is right next to, can you guys see that? I know my lighting isn't the greatest. So she is ignoring quite literally her emotions. He, she, it's a general reading. Don't get caught up on the gender. Why are you doing that? I feel like a lot of you are doing that because you want to focus elsewhere. You don't want to be overwhelmed. If something is really stressing you out, I feel that you're going to ignore it. And again, like, I don't think that's a completely unhealthy thing. Other people may not understand that, but does it really matter if it benefits you? I mean, if it helps you to soothe yourself. At the same time, they're saying don't live there forever though. Come back to it. When you're in a better feeling space, come back to whatever it is that's bothering you. And from that better feeling space, re-look at it. Soothe yourself around it. Speak to yourself about it. Especially my intuitive Aquarians. You know how to speak to your higher self. There is a change in luck here. This is a very lucky energy. This to me is a very favorable card to come out, especially with the Page of Pentacles next to it. So I feel like there is some lucky opportunity on the horizon here for you, Aquarius. And it may seem like something small at first, you know, but it actually may result in something much, much more than you bargained for. But I'm taking that to be a positive thing. So this should be a very interesting time period for you. So let's see what the guidance is. Then we're going to go to the love reading. Love reading. Card number 49. It says, our opinions about our children can influence their behavior. The more you see things in your child that you do not want to see, the more of that you will see. And so the behavior that you elicit from your child is more about you than it is about them. This is actually true of all relationships, not just your children. But since parents often think about their child most of the time, this is a great example of how others play a greater role, how your opinion plays a greater role in others' behavior than you understand. Wow, this is a difficult one. It's an awesome card, but it was difficult for me to interpret that in a way that you guys could understand. But I want to say this part again. And I'm going to take the word child out of it because not all of you have children. But if you do, that's definitely applicable. But let me say this again. The more you see things in others that you do not want to see, the more of it you will see. And so the behavior that you elicit from others is way more about you than it is about them. And this is true of all relationships. So if you want to get the most beneficial results out of any relationship that you're encountering, Aquarius, try your best to see the best in them and what you love about them more than their flaws and what you do not like. Interesting. All right, so let's go to the love reading now. I will see you guys in just a second. Sit right there. I'll be right back. Welcome back. So Aquarius, now I'm going to go back and forth between you and the person you may be connecting with. Keep in mind that it is a general reading, so the roles can be reversed. Feel free to flip it if you need to. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Usually this is going to resonate with an intimate partner or an ex, but it could also be in regards to a family member, a friend, a coworker, you name it. Keep an open mind. And let's get into it. So Aquarius, your overall energy is conditioning, and this person is the mind. Both of those look pretty tense to me. I don't know. You let me know. That looks pretty uncomfortable. So conditioning is exactly what it sounds like. Some of you have been conditioned to believe certain things about yourself or others or this person that may or may not be serving you at this time. So something to look at and re-look at within yourself as well. This person has the card of the mind, and you can see this is a very frustrating energy. So there could be just a lot going on in this person's mind. Frustration, agitation, like mind overload type of vibe is what I'm getting. And or you may be all up in this person's mind. We shall see. So we are going to look at the recent past, how you both feel and see each other in the now, and most likely outcomes. So recent past for Aquarius, Two of Wands, recent past. You have the Two of Wands, death and rebirth, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands. So again, there is this message that came up in the spiritual reading about needing to lay something to rest in the past. A prior version of yourself, some of you a prior relationship, just whatever this is that you're carrying around with you, it's time to lay it to rest, Aquarius. There is ample opportunity coming through for you and lots of things for you to look forward to, and Spirit really wanting you to take that more forward facing approach versus comparisons or comparing to the past. So the Three of Wands is very future driven, very future oriented energy, and I feel like that's kind of where you are headed here, Aquarius. And I also feel that you're very committed to that. Some of you maybe were at a crossroads in the past, you know, not really knowing or being sure about like what was right for you or what right direction to go into. But I feel like as we're coming into the May time frame, there's more certainty around that, and some of you have chosen your path. And once you choose Aquarius, because of that fixed nature, you are not going to deviate from that. I know like some people think too, I'm here to dispel so many myths about Aquarius. I try not to do this, but I am a fellow Aquarius. But like, I think another myth, if I may, is that we're like, you know, airy-fairy, which we are to a degree, but also flaky. And I'm like, there is nothing flaky about an Aquarius. Not once they make their mind up. If they are truly committed, if they are truly got their mind set on something, there is nothing that would make you move away from that choice. Just saying. All right, so let's see this person's recent past. Page of Swords. Knight of Pentacles. Eight of Cups. What else for this person? And the Four of Wands. So person you're connecting to, the first thing I heard was they have a lot of bright ideas. Like I feel like this person, I don't know if that's like they're just very intelligent or like they always have a bright idea, or if that's a joke or something. I'm not really sure, but that's the first thing that I thought about when I saw this card. I think that in general, like this person is getting new ideas about what they want for their life, and they're making progress towards that, although it is more so of like this very steady Eddie energy, like one day at a time. So there's progression, but it's kind of slow going. There's some things that this person is also need to walk away from in their past in order for them to truly like appreciate and celebrate where they currently are. I do feel also like this person, you know, going into a space where they want to have more fun and have things to celebrate, and if they've been in a very serious and like stressed situation or energy, they are eager to leave that energy. So let's see how you perceive each other then in the now. How do you see this person? How do you perceive them? Whoa, Aquarius. Here's your perception of this person. Queen of Cups. There's some cards. Why do these keep wanting to come out? I don't know. Sorry. Queen of Cups. Temperance. Wow. King of Cups. Out of curiosity, what's that? Swords. Three of Cups. So this is really interesting to me. Look at this. You see, you've got the king and the queen, and they're not really facing each other, right? This is representing your perception of this person. So you don't always see eye to eye with this person, and you may also express yourselves differently when it comes to your emotions. And yet, at the same time, there's a lot of commonality here. There's a lot of compatibility. I feel like you're not as different as it seems on the surface, right? Or you're not as different as you think from this person. It's just the expression of, or the way you handle it differs, right? But on an emotional scale, I feel this to be your partner, your equal. Some of you, you know, there's a lot of emotion around the connection, maybe a little bit too much. Like, it could make you a little bit uncomfortable, I feel, if this person really has access to that more softer, nurturing, emotional side. It's weird for me to say that, but you know what I mean by that, Aquarius. It makes you feel a little bit vulnerable, maybe. And yet, you want to see things come together in the partnership or some sort of reconciliation for those of you who are maybe not currently in a partnership or connected to this person. All right, so let me see, how do they perceive you? The Wheel. The Hermit. Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. So this is interesting. I feel like this person has thought a lot about the connection, and they feel that it's like, I feel like this person feels that they're either lucky to have you, Aquarius, or lucky to have connected with you, or that there is like a divine reason for the connection. Like, because this is a very thoughtful, spiritual, enlightened type of energy here. I feel like this person wants to give to the connection. They may also view you as somebody who is very generous, maybe lucky, spiritual. I don't know. This could also be traits they see in you. And yet there's a little bit of an avoidance here. Okay, and I don't know what that's about. What is the avoidance? I don't know if that's on your part. Oh, sometimes you stress them out because you communicate differently. Like, sometimes there's a disconnect in like the way that this person expresses and the way that you express. So it's funny because it's kind of like the same thing like that I was feeling on your end, I'm feeling on their end, but it's coming out a little bit differently. So I feel like a lot of times you may be saying the same thing but with just different words, you know, or feeling the same thing, but maybe the way you're acting and the way this person acting on the surface is different, but it's not different if you boil it down. Mirror, mirror. So let's see what's going on in the emotional space, in the heart space. How does Aquarius feel about this person? What do they feel about this person? Sun card. The Page of Swords. Oh my goodness, that's way too many. Oh, wow. The Moon. Oh my gosh, the Seven of Swords. Wow. It's like this connection makes you happy and you don't trust it at the same time. Some of you have a fear of failure here. So it's like you don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket in case like you're wrong, or in case like something goes wrong or something fails within this connection. There's a lot of skepticism that's holding you away from truly being vulnerable from this person. Some of you are masking your emotions, are hiding the fact that you fear this, or some of you are hiding the fact that you feel like a failure. And it may not even be related to this person. It could be in another area of your life where you feel you have failed. Is this the thing from the past that you're holding on to? Now, others of you, it could be directly related to the connection. But take it as it's resonating with you. See, because I think you also are showing up very stoic and a bit closed off. So I don't feel like this is something that you wear on your sleeve. Oh, this is what you're suppressing. I get it. So definitely watch the spiritual part of the reading, as this is mirroring that. So and then I also got happy, happy, happy. Just always got to be happy. But you don't always feel happy. See, I think one of the dangerous things about teaching other people law of attraction, and this has been my own experience too, is that when you first get hold of like, when I feel good, things go good. Naturally, you want to feel good all the time. But then sometimes you end up faking it. And I'm getting a song by Sasha Sloan. She says, I'm way too good at faking it. I'm way too good at making it look like. Good song. So be careful with that, Aquarius. And I don't feel like this is intentional. you know, and this could also be what your person is doing, because it's a general. Take it as it's resonating. But I think we all do this to some degree. We all have to fake a smile, like around people we don't like, because it's polite. You know, or like maybe you're faking being happy to see somebody when you've been dreading it all day, you know. So I don't think like this is like a huge like, oh my gosh. I think it's a human nature. It's human. We're taught to fake our emotions. We are literally taught this because it would be considered inappropriate by society to completely express everything we're thinking and feeling. And so it requires emotional control to get through life so that you don't look absolutely insane. Which, to give you an example, like for instance, a toddler who's not been taught out of their emotional compass yet, who hasn't been taught to hide emotion or fake things, they just literally say whatever they are thinking. They also throw temper tantrums in public because they don't care, you know. So I'm not even saying it's all a bad thing that we're taught to control our emotions, because we would all be throwing temper tantrums in the street. But that is what people who don't have control over their emotions look like to me, even the adults, temper tantrum throwers. But there's, again, that message about balance. Reach for genuine happiness, right? And it's okay if you don't always feel it. You know, if you have fears going on, if you are in a space where you're feeling insecure or doubting yourself, find a way to healthily express that. And I was talking about that in the spiritual reading too. Whether that's direct communication or other ways, music, art, moving your body, you know. I heard Pilates. I don't do Pilates, but good for you if you do. Let's see this person's emotional space and what they got going on. How are they feeling towards the Aquarius? Four of Swords, the High Priestess, 10 of Wands, 7 of Wands. This person's trying really hard. It's funny because this person is trying really hard not to stress out or not to stress you out. And yet they're feeling stressed out, you know. So there's a bit of trying too hard over here on this person's end, and not allowing enough. But at the same time, I feel this person is also in the space of healing, of transition, of finding their way, of finding their own peace, listening to their intuition, so that even when times get tough or things feel heavy, they know how to deal with it. They're learning how to deal with it. As it pertains to the connection, this person may actually have dreams about you, or it's just a very dreamy connection, or like a very intuitive connection, even if you're at a distance. And there's like a bubble of protection around this. So let's see most likely outcomes then, and where this is headed for you, the Lovers. The Knight of Pentacles, the Hangman in the reverse. There's a card here. So the Lovers is, so it's crazy to me because there's such a strong bond, there's such a strong connection, and yet there's hesitancy. There is a need to see something from another perspective. There is things to work on within yourself, but there's also this need to be more open and honest and generous with this connection, or just like in general. And I feel like that's really the key to things balancing out here energetically with you and the person you're connecting with. So let's see this person's most likely outcomes. And I feel you are working on this. I feel like you do want to be more your authentic self. You know what I mean? The Strength card, the Two of Wands, The Five of Pentacles. Nine of Cups. This person really doesn't look forward to, like, being alone. Like, as opposed to enjoying their alone time, sometimes it can be lonely. On the other hand, I feel like this person is also trying to set themselves up for success. They are working on their confidence, thinking about their future. But sometimes it's weird because they sometimes this person thinks they're thinking about success, but they're actually focused on the absence of it, the fear of failure. Oh my gosh, they also have a fear of failure. You have the same fear. See what I was saying earlier, that like on the surface it may express different, but on the core spiritual or emotional level, it's like a similar vibration. So it's funny because like when this person just allows themselves to feel successful things happen to them. But when they get into a position of fearing failure, they see failure all around them. Because that's how law of attraction works. You know, so funny. Like, so this person has a fear that things will fail, but then what they're really wanting is to have success in general, or with you, or both, you know. So they're looking for that successful outcome, and I think that both of you are going to find it in being more open with each other and being more giving with the connection. If you're in union. If you're not in union or connected to this person currently, just simply you getting into your authentic vibe, Aquarius, and maybe taking your mind away from something that the fear-based mentality will open up the gateway or energy to allow for union or a change. So let's see the guidance then for you, Aquarius, and your person. Oh, that's too much. How'd that card get in there? Okay, one guidance card. My manifestations are the indicator of my beliefs. Card number 23. It is always true that whatever you are living always matches your chronic vibrational pattern or belief. And it does not matter if you have an excellent excuse for your negative thoughts and negative emotions, they still will equal your point of attraction. What is manifesting on every subject in your life is an indicator of the belief that you hold and your chronic pattern of thought around it. Wow, very interesting. So what do you do if you want to change something that's going on that you don't like? You got to change the way you think about it. Wow, what an interesting and awesome reading. I'm going to leave it there. Zodiac signs that you may be connecting with or have in your own birth chart. I have Leo, Virgo, let's see, Leo again, Pisces, Gemini, Cancerian energy, Sagittarius, Scorpio energy, and that's it. But it is a general reading, so take what resonates for you and leave what doesn't. If it did resonate, please do let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to give me a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. You can find me also on Facebook and Instagram for more fun stuff. I do go live on Facebook as well. All of it linked in the description box as well as in the About section. Otherwise, I'm wishing you the very, very best. And until next time, my friends, namaste. Bye.